I've got some new tools to show you in the war against slugs, because nobody likes slugs in the garden. If you're not familiar with slug damage, this is slug damage here on this pepper plant. Peppers are one of their favorite, but they also like eggplants. And if you grow any brassicas, you're definitely familiar with slugs. If you've been watching this channel long enough, you know that we don't use any kind of pesticides in the garden. We try to go everything 100% natural. We work with nature, not against it. But a garden like this is loaded with slugs. And even though they focus on my radish trap crop, when I direct sow seeds, the slugs move in and usually take out those plants before they can grow. And that's where the slug zapper has come in. So it costs less than $1 to make these, and we're using this copper tape here because it is common knowledge that slugs don't like to touch copper because it gives them a little zap. So this is what it looks like when I direct sow watermelons with the slug zapper in place. We got nice healthy plants, got a little couple bites right there because we had a few blades of grass poking in there, giving the slugs a nice ramp to get inside. I had 6 melon sprouts here. We're down to 2. This one's not looking too hot. This is the only one that survived. Those are not good odds. Another birdhouse melon out here, barely hanging on. Transplanted one that I started inside with the slug zapper, and we're looking pretty good. So let's talk about how to make a slug zapper and how to install it. And I'm going to put all these items in a description so you can purchase them and make your own. First thing I'm going to need is some sort of fencing material to make the ring for the slug zapper. I like using hardware cloth. I have some black hardware cloth left here. I like it because it is kind of see-through since it is black, so instead of painting the regular silver stuff, this works good and I use it on a chicken coop, and I got plenty to spare. Next, you're going to need some copper tape. This is 1.5 inch wide copper tape. This is the stuff that the slugs hate because it zaps them. And then a couple tie wraps. So the first step, it's going to depend on how big you want your slug zapper to be. Now if you got larger plants and you want to cover more space to the sides, you're going to need a larger ring. For smaller plants, you can use something small. So we're going to start out with the hardware cloth. We're going to get it something like this. Now we don't need it to be tall. This is relying on the slugs coming here and not wanting to climb because of the copper. So having extra height really isn't going to matter too much. So I'll be able to take this and make several cuts this way and get quite a few slug zappers out of this. So I'm going to start lengthwise. You can either do the math of 2 pi r to give you the outside diameter and cut it to length, or you can do it just by folding it, and when you get the ring about the size you want, just take that and cut it all the way down. Now I have this larger piece that I can roll like this to give me the outside shape of my slug zapper. And your hardware cloth is going to come with a nice flat end here. But what we want to make this work so we don't have to stake it into the ground is to create these sharp areas down here that can actually be stuck in the ground so this doesn't move. So when I take this from the flat end, I want to go at least 1.5 inches because that's the outside measurement of the copper tape, but we can go a little bit longer here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip it so we're making a sharp spot right there, a little stake that can go into the ground. And then go ahead and cut it the whole entire length. So we have this thinner strip that we can fold like this. This is a nice outside shape of the slug zapper. We have the flat top that's not going to stick you, and we have the sharper ends on the bottom that'll hold into the ground. Now I'm just going to take this, I'm going to fold it over, give it a little bit of overlap, then I'm going to stick a tie wrap in the top here. Make sure everything's nice and even, and then put another one towards the bottom and just snip off the ends. Then we're going to come back with our copper tape. We're going to lay it on the outside here to get a nice measurement. Give it a little bit of overlap here, and it tears pretty easy with your fingers. This next step is key. It is the placement of this tape. Now when you push this down, this little rim right here is going to be flush with the ground. If you have any gaps underneath here, the slugs are going to get in. So you want the edge of this tape to be right at that bottom line there. Just like so. No gaps for slugs to climb underneath this, because if it's there, they will get underneath it. So I will take this, and as I go, carefully make sure it's lined up, and just use my fingers to smooth it out and make sure it's stuck really good. And there we go. We got a nice slug zapper here, ready to go out and protect your plants from slug damage. So here we have a pepper plant that has been getting attacked by slugs because there's no other food around here. The garlic scapes are helping a little bit, but not enough to save this plant from further destruction. What we'll do is we'll clear the area around this plant. We will take the slug zapper, place it on top, and push it into the ground. To make sure it's fully seated down, give it a little twist as you're pushing. If needed, slide some of the soil to the sides. Be careful that there is no weeds or anything here touching the top part without the copper, or else the slugs absolutely will climb up that, go in here, and climb inside. Just like that. Now this pepper is protected from slugs. Now you will get the occasional brave slug that likes pain that'll climb inside there, but it's not too many, and a couple slugs on there not going to do too much damage. The problem is when you get this warmer weather like this and you have rain and then it gets cooler at night, the slugs go nuts. So you'll have these plants just coated with slugs, and they can eat a plant like that pepper down to the ground in one night. So give this a shot. It really helped out. A lot of these plants that I can't really grow because the slugs will eat them, I just throw a slug zapper around them and we're good to go. Thanks for watching.